Okay, today we're going to go over the Unit 3 study guide. Number 1 says write the equation of a line that has a slope of 4 and goes through 0, 5. We're heading towards that formula. So we're going to plug in the 4 for m and the 5 for b. So y equals 4x plus 5. Number 2, write the equation of a line that has a slope of negative 2/5 and goes through the origin. So we're going to plug in 2/5 for the slope, keep our x. We don't need to put anything else because it's the origin. So y equals negative 2/5 x. Number 3, write the equation of a line that has the slope of negative 1 and goes through the point 0, negative 6. So we have y equals negative x minus 6. Write the equation of the line of the graph. So you need an m and you need a b, a slope and a y-intercept. So we're going to make our triangle. So we're going to go down 2 over 1. So that's negative 2. The b is right there. So that's negative 3. Place where the line crosses the y-axis. So we're going to plug these in where they belong. Y equals negative 2x minus 3. All right, moving right along. Again, we need an m and a b. So our slope is up 1 over 2. So that's a half. And our y-intercept is right there, which is 1. So we have y equals 1/2 x plus 1. This next one may be a little hard to see. It's this big arrow here. That's your line. So a vertical line, the slope is undefined. And the b is where it crosses the y-axis. It never crosses the y-axis, so this is none. If you put 0, that would be wrong because that says that the line crosses the y-axis at 0, and it doesn't. So your equation for this is x equals 1. Not undefined. Your equation is x equals 1. Here we have some tables. We're going to use the wine glass to find the slope. You can also look at the change in y. So I have 6 minus 4 over 1 minus 0, which will give me 2 over 1. So my m is 2. My b, if you look at the table where x is 0, the y coordinate is the b. So we have y equals 2x plus 4. Oh, skip one. Number 8, another table. Again, you can look at the change in y for the slope. You need a slope, the y-intercept. So I'm going to take negative 2 minus negative 1 over 0 minus negative 1. So I have negative 1 over 1. So my slope is negative 1. You look for where the x is 0. The y-intercept is the y that is paired with it. So I have y equals negative x minus 2. All right, word problems. You start off the year with $500 in your account. You want to save $50 per month for your cruise to the Bahamas. Oh, does that sound nice? Write an equation for your savings with y as the total amount saved and x is the number of months. So again, you still need your m and your b. So your b is your starting point, and look at the words give it away. So you start with 500. And then every week every month you're going to save $50. So plug everything in where it belongs. Y equals 50x plus 500. So number 10 is a little tricky. The words can throw you off a bit. My phone costs $45 per month plus $15 per gig of data. Write an equation for my monthly phone plan with y being the total cost and x the number of gigs of data used. So that 45 is a one-time fee. It's never going to change. So that's your y-intercept. I know the word per is in there twice. Now this changes with the number of gigs. So that's your rate of change. So your slope is 15. So it's y equals 15x plus 45. All right, let's graph. All right, you have to graph and indicate the slope and the y-intercept. So here's your slope right here. That's your m, -3, and your y-intercept is your b, which is 2. So 2 is your starting point, and I'm going to go down 3 over 1. Now I'm going to go up 3, right, left 1. Let's draw this line. Number 3, y equals 2x. There's no b in the equation, so that means it's the origin, and my slope is my m, which is 2. So I'm going to start at the origin, go up 2 over 1. I'm going to go down to f1. There you go. Number 2, y equals 1/5 x plus 6. My slope is 1 over 5. My y-intercept is 6. So up 1 over 5. The opposite going the other way. Okay, number 4, x equals 5. When you have just an x, that means you have a vertical line. I'm going to count over to 5 on the x, and I'm going to make a vertical line through it. We know that the slope of a vertical line is undefined. And since it never touches the y-axis, this is none. Remember not to put 0 here because that implies that that line crosses at 0. All right. These next few, we have to put the equation in a slope-intercept form before we graph. So I am going to subtract x from both sides, and now I have y equals -x plus 4. I'm going to go down 1, right 1. Remember, if your slope is negative, you should be able to ski down it. It should be downward. That's something to check before you hand in your test. So my slope is -1 and my y-intercept is 4. Let's go up here so we can rearrange this one. It's a few more steps. So I'm going to take -3, I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides, sorry. Now I have 2y equals -3x plus 12. I'm going to divide everything by 2. So I have y equals -3/2 x plus 6. So my slope is -3/2, and my y-intercept is 6. So I'm going to start there at 6. I'm going to go down 3, right 2. And then I'm going to go up 3, left 2. All right, moving on. I have x minus y equals 3. So I have to move that x to the other side using the inverse operation, subtracting it. I'm going to put a 1. I don't need to put a 1 there, really. Plus 3. Now I got to divide everything by -1. So I have y equals +x minus 3. Okay, so my slope is 1. My y-intercept is -3. So I'm going to start down here at -3. I'm going to go up 1 over 1. It's positive now that we divided by -1, so it goes up. All right. Number 8, we have to rearrange this, but it's not as much work because the only thing I need to do is use the inverse operation to bring that 5x over to the other side. Subtract it. So my slope is -5. My y-intercept is -2. I'm going to start right there, and I'm going to go down 5, right 1. Can't go any further, so I'm going to go up 5, left 1. There we go. All right, I think that's it for graphing. I think we're moving on to something else now. Let's see. All right, there's a couple tough ones in here. Writing linear equations. This should be write the equation that satisfies the given information. The equation should always be in slope-intercept form. And we know that's this, y equals mx plus b. The line that has a slope of 2 and goes through the point 1, 3. So let's fill in what we know. We know the m is 2. We can use that point. I'm going to plug in 3 for y, 1 for x to find my y-intercept. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So b is 1. And when I put it all together, I have y equals 2x plus 1. All right. The line that has a slope of negative 2/3 and goes through the origin, we're just going to put that negative 2/3 in for x. We don't need a b because it's the origin. All right, these next two get a little tougher. So the first thing you need to do is it says you got to find the slope between the 2 points using the Weinglass formula. This is your slope. So I'm going to take 8 minus 3 over 5 minus 1. That's going to give me a slope of 5/4. I'm going to now plug in what I know and use one of the points. I'm going to use 1, 3. I'm going to turn 5/4 into 1 1/4. And I'm going to subtract 1 1/4 from both sides. So b equals 1 3/4 or 7/4. So that gives me y equals 5/4 x plus 7/4. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to write this down because I'm going to need this space for the last one. I didn't really give myself enough space. Okay, so let's find the slope first. So I have 0 minus negative 6 over 5 minus negative 3, which gives me 6/8 or 3/4 when you reduce it. So I have y equals 3/4 x plus b. I'm going to put in 0, 5. So I have 0 equals 3/4 times 5, which gives me 15/4 plus b, and I got to subtract it to get it to the other side. So now when you put that all together, I have y equals 3/4 x minus 15/4. Yeah, it's fractiony, but those do happen. All right, to finish up, determining parallel and perpendicular, determine whether the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Remember that parallel lines, their slopes are negative reciprocals, and perpendicular lines have the same slope. So you're going to need to find the slope of the lines. So this one has a slope of 3/2, and this one, if you make your triangle, has a slope of negative 2/3. So those slopes are negative reciprocals, so they are perpendicular. And the mathematical proof is that their slopes are negative reciprocals. These are neither because the slopes are neither negative reciprocals or the same. And the last one before we run out of time is parallel. The slopes are the same. Slopes are both negative 3.